Good evening and welcome back to another middle-aged man on Mounjaro. Um, um. I'm so self-conscious about all the umming and sniffing and coughing that I'm going to do now, but this is, rough and ready. I've tried to improve it. I'm balancing my phone on an exercise bike, can you believe? So if it falls over, that could be fun. I've got my little lamp here. I've got a bookshelf behind me, which is what people seem to do, Look at all my books. Look at all my stuff. And I've got notes. I've made notes as well. So hopefully this is a little bit better than last week's. I need my reading glasses for my notes though. Such is the joy of getting old. So recap. Yes, my name is Chris. I am 54 and a half years old. And I started on the Mounjaro on the 23rd of February this year. And I've lost, well, I'll tell you that later actually. I've been on this now nearly 8 weeks, I think it is. But I thought I'd go into a little bit of more context around my health issues and about my heart and stuff, which is maybe a bit niche for people, but it's been ever since I was 30 I've had issues with my heart. Generally, the first thing that started off was an irregular heartbeat called atrial fibrillation, which came on after a weekend of drinking vodka and Red Bull. Red Bull doesn't give you wings, it gives you paroxysmal atrial fibrillation, allegedly. Well, it did me anyway. So, yeah, and then that's kind of come and gone. I had a couple of operations for that, things called catheter ablations, which were fun. You're awake while they stick a catheter into your leg, through a vein in your leg and up into your heart, and then they burn the naughty bit of nerves, that's a clump of nerves that's causing the issue, and that's actually quite painful. You can feel it. They do sedate you a bit, but it's still quite. You can feel the heat of the burning. That kind of sorted it, but then obviously with my genetics and my bad eating and smoking and all that other stuff, I ended up having a heart attack and had severe blockages in maybe 2 of my big arteries, the LAD and I can't remember the other ones, but there were severe blockages, and I was quite lucky really, because the heart attack itself was a non-STEMI, quite a mild one. And I was kept in Norwich Hospital for 4.5 weeks waiting for the surgery. While I was there, I was looked after very well, but one night I had a bit of a scare. The heart started going very fast and irregular, which they said was pretty bad. I think they topped up my magnesium. It only lasted for a few seconds, this thing, but it was still a bit of a scary moment. I was actually not really aware of it. I was only aware of it when they woke me up. I think there was an alarm blaring in the nurse's station, and they came charging in with to take some observations. But it seemed to calm down itself, and they just topped up my magnesium. But yeah, then I had the actual triple bypass, which open heart surgery, which was an experience I don't think I'll ever forget. It was yeah. I was actually ready for it. I was really quite happy to get it done at that point. I'd been waiting for so long, without visitors in for most of the time. I was in Norwich because of COVID. And yeah, they came the night before and prepped me up and took me down in the morning and talked to me about her hobbies and stuff, about my choirs and all that stuff I do. And the next thing I knew, I was waking up with a ventilator tube in my throat, and well, that was good. It was good to wake up, obviously, because the doctors didn't mess around. The main doctor told me that there was a risk, a minor risk, but there was a risk that I wouldn't wake up or wouldn't come back from it. It's a major thing. They obviously, I don't know if you know, I mean, I read Bob Mortimer's book about, because he had the same thing, and it's quite a full-on thing that they do. They saw your rib cage open and they pull your heart out and they stop it, and they sew these new arteries on, which they've harvest from your arm, harvest from your leg, and one inside your mammary artery, I think it's called. And they sewed them onto your heart, and they said afterwards that it was very happy, although it took a while to settle down again because the atrial fibrillation kicked off again. But that's why I was in for just about 8 days. I think I got out just as Storm Arwen was kicking off. I got a lift back up to North Yorkshire to stay with my mum and dad while I recovered, and they really did an amazing job of looking after me while I recovered over the next few months. But now I live by myself, and trying to control myself and my base urges for food and booze. Oh yeah, that booze. Can you see it? A little bottle of Glenmorangie there, and that's still one of my sins. I've tried to give up alcohol completely, but I just like a little whiskey now and again. I'm trying to, and to be honest, Mounjaro has helped that. It has reduced my cravings, definitely. So, but yeah, I'm waffling. Let's see what else is in here. So yeah, the Mounjaro, and taking it has its own challenges it presents, and it really does kill the appetite. And the challenge is to get enough food in, to get enough good food. And I really don't want any of the greasy sort of fish and chippy pie stuff, or even sweets and chocolate. I don't want them very much. So and getting good food, good protein, lean protein. So I eat a lot of chicken and fish. If I sometimes need to, I'll take a protein shake in the evening to boost the protein for the day. I try and get over 100 grams a day at least, sometimes more. Exercise being another important thing to do, and I've just actually done a bit before my tea tonight. I went and did a few little dumbbell body weights, and then blasted off 10 to 15 minutes on the exercise bike with a video of the Lake Como cycling, which is nice on a grim and grey day in Darlington. But I say exercise and protein is a massive thing for. It's very important to do when you're on Mounjaro, because you can lose muscle as much as fat, really. I don't know if as much as, but definitely it's a significant thing. So what I've noticed then, coming on to what's happened this week, I did have a bit of a slowdown in the rate of loss. I lost 1.25 pounds in my last weigh-in last Saturday, but that kind of ties in with my previous week of eating, because I kind of got I wouldn't say it was terrible, but I was a bit looser, and I'd been away for a weekend to go and see a gig in Manchester with family, and I mean, I still tried to eat within my calories, and I think I did most of the time. There was the odd little bit of I had a couple of wine gums, and which I've not had at all. I used to love the things. I used to eat them like they went out until they went out of fashion, like they were going out of fashion. But yeah, and I've weighed again this week because I've been to see the doctor about a few things. It was actually about my have a blood test for my cholesterol level, which they say is still a bit high, a touch high. I've looked, the numbers have come down, but they're still wanting to put me on more and more statins, which I'm not really happy about, because the ones they're talking about are very, well, they can give side effects like problems with the shoulder rotator tendons, and I do have issues with my shoulder, my left one, and it sometimes goes numb, like there's a pinched nerve or something, but it's quite alarming when it happens, because it's like, it feels like it could be something else, something more sinister. Anyway, and sinistra being the Italian word for left, which I always find amusing. I'm learning Italian on Duolingo, by the way. Isn't that good for me? So, and I'm talking of Italy. Yeah, I'm going on holiday. I'm going for a few days in Sicily at the end of July, but also I'm going Sunday to the lovely city of Prague in Czechia, or the Czech Republic. I think it's Czechia now. And I'm really looking forward to that. I really need a good break from work because work has been pretty stressful recently. So I'll be glad to do that. And I'm also meeting up with my son, who's on his travels through Europe and was going to be in Prague at the same time, luckily. So yeah, I shall be interesting to see. I'm still going to take my dose on Sunday morning instead of Sunday night because I leave on Sunday tea time, I think my flight is. So I'm going to take the Mounjaro anyway and see how it goes. I mean, all the food in Czechia looks like kind of very meaty based, pork knuckles and schnitzels and things, but I'll see how I get on, and the lovely beer, So yeah, there we are. I think that's about enough of me waffling on, and hope it's useful or educational and informative to anybody who's watching this. I think I got 39 views last week, I think, which is probably the highest amount of views in a week I've ever had on any of my videos, but most of them are either from gigs or some crazy bored ones when I was bored a long time ago. But if anyone likes this and would like to click and subscribe, then please do. It would be absolutely awesome to get this to as many people as possible. And my intention is to eventually, I've got a good camera, I've got a Nikon Z series camera, so I should get that. I need a tripod plate, somehow lost it, so I can get one of those and I can set up the camera properly and film this on a good camera, get a decent microphone, maybe get some lighting. I'll see how that goes. And film this slightly better, and then I'll have to learn how to edit videos properly and put nice fancy titles across the screen and other photos. I really haven't got a clue how to start with that thing, but yeah, we shall see. And but anyway, thanks for watching if you watched, and see you next week. Bye.